The world loves being on the water for sports, for leisure, and for supporting the world's economy. Critical for protecting our nation's ports and for fueling our passions. Let's see how one company is meeting the demands of the boating industry. Let's go with Intrepid Powerboats on the water. This show is being brought to you by 7 Marine, the most powerful outboards on the planet. Intrepid Powerboats, one of a kind, one at a time. Welcome back to Intrepid Powerboats on the water. Today we're in West Palm Beach aboard the Penny May, a 130-foot Richmond Marine motor yacht. Now, the Penny May can be found in Costa Rica during the fishing season, and the rest of the year diving and fishing and just enjoying the water in the Bahamas. We're visiting with Captain Mike O'Neill to find out why he thinks Intrepid Powerboats are the best tender boats in the world.
We've just finished a season in Costa Rica where the owner of the yacht is an avid sport fisherman, and the first couple of weeks we were there, we were waiting for his bigger sport fishing boat to arrive. So we spent a few trips actually fishing off our Intrepid, which is not what we normally do, and it was very successful. We caught a lot of sailfish. We even got a marlin on the deck, and the owner was blown away by the ability of it. He's used to fishing his larger sport fishing boats. He's got a 62-footer, and our Intrepid held its head high and did very well in the fishing. And then we cruised to Cocos Island, which is way out 300 miles in the middle of the Pacific with no facilities whatsoever. And we spent the good part of a week there fishing. We didn't do much fishing, so diving, exploring, and we had the whole family, and it just worked fantastically as a great way where we could take all the guests and go off on a day's expedition to go diving and look at the waterfalls and visit the jungle and go hiking and all this kind of thing without having to move the main yacht. So we left the yacht permanently anchored in the bay, and we used the Intrepid as our exploring boat, if you will, and that worked fantastically. We're really happy with the final product. And Intrepid do a fantastic job of not only building but looking after the clients, looking after the customer's need, and their after-sales service is phenomenal. For a support vessel or a tender, if you will, for a yacht this size or this, in this industry, we kind of set ourselves very high standards. As you can see on the yacht itself, everything is done with, to the highest of standards possible. And so we kind of expect that from our vendors and our other suppliers. So when it comes to tenders, we kind of critical, and I've only been impressed by what Intrepid has managed to produce for us. So, they have pretty much a customer for life with us.
Yeah, our client base it goes from anywhere from movie stars and actresses and rock and roll stars and athletes and business owners. What's nice is they come to us because we're able to build what they want. In a lot of cases, what they want is possibly a tender. And a tender basically is a boat that they'll either put in or on the mega yacht, or they will tow it behind it. 9 times out of 10, they'll tow it behind it. And that's really where we started to get a reputation from the get-go with this company, was building a tender that would survive. What happens with a tender boat is you're pulling it behind, who knows, a 140-foot, 200-foot boat in some cases, and there could be 10-foot seas. 10-foot seas, and that large mega yacht can handle those kind of seas. And you got to remember, now there's a line running behind this boat in these rough waters. And there's possibly a 32-foot, 37-foot boat hanging on this line going through these rough seas. That is probably the worst punishment that you can give any type of boat, is being a tender. And many years ago when we were getting into this, most boat companies didn't want to build tenders because the boats used to get destroyed. So we figured that if you can build a boat that's strong enough to be a tender, but build every boat that way so everybody gets a boat strong enough to be a tender, that would be an amazing product. And what we did is we decided that let's not run away from the tender market like everybody else. This is a market that's open for the taking, but you better build a strong boat. You better build a boat that can take the punishment. You know, I have captains come in here and tell me stories that make me cringe, and they tell it with a smile. And they look at me and they said, Ken, you won't believe, we're pulling the tender, it's 10-foot seas, and you can see the line coming off the back of the mega yacht, and you would see the Intrepid disappear behind the wave. And then you'd see the line running in through the wave, through the water, and the Intrepid used to just bust out and go completely in the air and land in the valley of the next one. And we would do that over and over, and we just knew that the Intrepid would either be lost or destroyed by the time we got through the storm and back to the water. I mean, back to the land. And the whole time they're telling me this story, I'm like, don't tell me this story. I can't believe you're doing this to our boats. And they said, no, you don't understand. We got to the dock, we tied off, and there's nothing wrong. The boat's amazing. You know, that it can take that kind of abuse. And that's what we specialize in. We specialize in something that you can do that with. And the nice part is when you do that, you build a boat that can be a tender, you know, that's a boat that you want to take your family on. That's a boat that, you know, maybe you're only going fishing on Saturday, or maybe you're only just going to the restaurant. But you know what? You never know what's going to happen out there. You don't know what kind of weather's going to kick up. You don't know what's going to happen, and you want to be in the safest boat that you can be in with your family.
Welcome back to Intrepid Powerboats on the water. You know, you can't be a great custom builder without a great staff. And the president of Intrepid, Ken Clinton, will be the first to tell you that the staff at Intrepid is the best in the world, committed to building the best boats on the market.
The nice part about the staff that we have here is they push as well because they understand the importance of innovation. We may ask a lot of them, but they're up to the challenge. And they have to be up to the challenge because that is what separates us from everybody else. So though it's stressful, they get it and they understand why. And they know that it's done with the best of intentions because we have to constantly push the envelope. And we, you know, if we just came out with something that's great, well, now we got to beat it on the next one because as soon as we come out with something, somebody's going to be copying it. And what's important was while they're copying that, we're coming out with this. So you got to stay ahead, and that's a push for our engineering department.
Customer service is another distinguishing feature of Intrepid. A lot of the service starts with Joe Brenna, Vice President of Customer Service.
Once you're in the Intrepid family, you're part of the family, regardless if you're the fifth owner, the first owner. And Joe is a guy that is very personable. He likes to talk to people. He loves to be out there representing us, and you know, he's another guy that you're proud to have representing you. He's somebody that truly is passionate about the product. It comes through when he talks to you. You know it's not an act. You know it's just not a job for him. He's a guy that carries 2 phones around, that answers emails and phone calls on Sunday night, on Thanksgiving Day, on Christmas Eve. You just can't find that in people. When you find somebody that has that kind of dedication and that kind of passion for the product, you let them go as far as they can go. And Joe's taken it all the way to the point where he's the Vice President of Customer Service. And you know, we couldn't be represented better in that area.
We have the best customer service department by far of any company that I know of. And we get told that all the time. It's pretty stressful at times. It's kind of 24/7, and we all field calls. Our phones are on all the time. We can troubleshoot, help everybody, and Joe has been really, really instrumental in that. And You know, it's not an easy job at all. You got to remember how many customers we have and how many boats we have out there, and it's very, very busy. The nice thing is, when one of our customers has an issue, whatever it may be, there's always a voice there. Saturday, Sunday, Christmas Eve, New Year's Day, you will get a voice to help you with whatever situation you're in.
When I call Joe or I send Joe an email, it's within the hour I hear back from him. That's if he doesn't answer his phone, but on duty, off duty, at the office, on a fishing tournament, doesn't matter. If he sees the call from one of us, one of his boat owners, not just the law enforcement, but I know personally from people that privately own the boats, he answers the call. If you need something, he might not be in a position to take care of it for you right now, but he'll have somebody on it. Or if it's something that is not of pressing nature, you can rest assured that it's going to be addressed within the next 48 hours. And I know from speaking to other Intrepid owners, that's a big piece of the pie at Intrepid, is the service you get from Joe and the special attention that everybody gets, whether you're a government agency or a Fortune 500 businessman that's building his own custom yacht. It doesn't make any difference. You're all an important part of the Intrepid family, and Joe gives you unprecedented service.
Intrepid Powerboats has been delivering on its promises of leadership and innovation in performance, comfort, and safety since launching our first boat in 1983. No two Intrepid boats are alike. Each is ordered, built, and customized one precisely satisfied customer at a time. Then, backed by the finest owner program in the industry. When we say one of a kind, one at a time, it's more than a slogan. It's what we do. Intrepid Powerboats, on the water. Team Liquid Fire knows how to catch fish. This team runs an Intrepid-sponsored 375 with triple Yamaha 350 engines. The team consists of Mark, Joshua, Crockett, and Audrey Henderson. Now, this close-knit family has fun every day on the water. Their accomplishments include being named SKA Kingfish Tour Angler of the Year. Now, they have to be considered a favorite to win any tournament they're in, and today is no exception. The Saltwater Shootout in beautiful Pompano Beach, Florida. Target species in the shootout are dolphin, wahoo, kingfish, tuna, and cobia.
You know, we're pretty excited about being here. It's always a fun event. Lots of cool people, lots of great fishing teams, and you know, we're hoping to pile it up and get a good aggregate weight today. You know, we're not sure. We came out a little bit early, tried to do a little pre-fishing, but you know, weather got a little bit messy for us, so we weren't quite able to do what we were hoping to. So we can go on a little bit of knowledge from past and some information from friends, and hopefully everything goes well, and we're going to have a good time regardless. It's just a great event here with the family, and an opportunity to be able to represent Intrepid and Yamaha and Richard Industries and all of our sponsors, Taco Marine. Real excited about that opportunity and looking forward to being here today. You know, this event right here is a little different than the normal kingfish tournaments that we're part of. It includes kingfish, but it also includes wahoo, dolphin, cobia, and tuna. And you can weigh up to 10 fish, no more than 4 of any particular species, but a combination that makes the heaviest aggregate. You know, we hope to be able to catch some pretty nice kingfish early. That's our plan. And then hopefully get off on a ledge and throw up a couple of kites and see if we can raise some blackfin tuna. If we can do that, it'll make a really good day. If you can put a few blackfin in the boat, maybe catch a lucky dolphin or a wahoo straying coming through, it'd be real good. And so that's our hope, that's our plan. So we'll see what happens. We're going to give it our best.
Fishing across the fleet is being reported as slow, very slow. Mark works his network of fellow anglers, and Team Liquid Fire uses every technique in the bag to put the fish in the boat.
Really struggling with slow trolling early in the morning. The bite's just not been real good at all. So we've tried a couple of different places, talked to several of our friends, just not a lot of fish around right now, or at least on the bite. So we wanted to try to come offshore a little bit, a little further, see if we could drum up a couple tunas or a dolphin. So we figured we'd put some kites in the air, try to give a little bit of a different display of our baits. So we're going to hang some goggle eyes from the kite, see what happens. We still got some time left, but it's been a slow day. 2 small kingfish that really aren't going to weigh in the tournament, not going to do us any good. So hopefully we can get out here and drum up something nice, and we can give it a try. Trying hard. It's a tough sport sometimes. This is important to have a decent network of people. People are pretty private with their information, those who work hard for it, and they don't want just everybody knowing it. But yes, it is important to have a good network of people. I'm very fortunate to have some good friends who I've talked to throughout the day, and they've told me of a few fish being caught, but nothing spectacular that we want to run way up to where they are or back down to where they are. So we're giving it a try, but we're staying in contact with them throughout the day, see how they're doing, and hopefully we can be one of the lucky ones this week.
Mark Henderson and his family with Team Liquid Fire are an amazing group. They're actually the first team that I ever sponsored, and I was very tentative because when you're going to ask somebody to represent your brand, wear your logo, you really have to be particular. And when I met the Henderson group in Team Liquid Fire, that family, I couldn't ask for somebody as a better representative for our company and our brand. I met them and they were running another brand boat. They had come to us wanting to step up into a better product. I originally wrote a contract with them as a sponsor for a 32-foot boat. And then as I was getting to know them better, I went to nationals in Mississippi, in Biloxi. And we were getting ready to build their boat soon. And they got back from fishing that day, and I hung out with them again and hung out with their family. And I looked at Mark Henderson and I said, you know what? I know that we were supposed to build you a 32, but I'm building you a 37. And I'm going to build you a 37, exactly the way that we were going to build the 32, but we're going to take it to the next level. I said, I want to give you the best boat to do this in, and I was thrilled to do so. He was excited, and Audrey, Crockett, Josh, Mark, amazing people. I love just going to the fishing tournament just so I could hang out with them, never mind fish. They're great people.
Those guys, all of them, Mark Henderson, Mr. Kelly, those guys really punish their equipment. They taught us a lot. Some of the things that I brought to the company was knowing what I know in offshore racing. Those guys bring that same level because their equipment is either idling or it's wide open. It's a different strategy. It's just like offshore racing. It's trying to get to the spot first. They have to keep their lines wet. They have a time limit, so the faster they get there, the quicker they get their lines in the water, the longer they can keep their lines on the water, and the faster they can get back, the longer they can stay there. So it's all a matter of timing, and we've built a few of them now, and I tell you what, those guys can really punish a boat, and our boats have held up great, and they love them.
Next week on Intrepid Powerboats, on the water. The Saltwater Shootout is the first leg in South Florida's largest tournament trail, the Pompano Beach Saltwater Circuit. Teams travel from near and far to enjoy the festivities and take a chance at over $275,000 in cash and prizes. The Saltwater Shootout offers something for the competitive and the casual fishermen alike. With reasonable entry fees, great cash prizes, top-notch hospitality, and fun activities for anglers of all ages keep the teams coming back year after year. This show has been brought to you by 7 Marine, the most powerful outboards on the planet. Intrepid Powerboats, one of a kind, one at a time.